Israel says it's carried out strikes on military targets in western and central Iran on Monday. Now, despite reports that US President Donald Trump had urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to avoid further military action as diplomatic efforts continue. The latest exchange comes amid growing concerns that renewed hostilities could derail the ongoing US-Iran peace talks aimed at ending the broader regional conflict. Now, just hours before the strike, President Trump said that any new military action by Israel or Iran would not derail negotiations with Tehran, insisting that a deal to end the wider war remained within reach. Now, Donald Trump also suggested that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not dictating US policy, as Washington continues to push for a diplomatic breakthrough. The US president has reportedly pressured Israel to scale back its military operations in Lebanon in order to create space for negotiations. Now, according to media reports, Trump even rebuked Netanyahu during a phone call last week over continued attacks. Now, despite those efforts, Israel launched strikes in the Beirut area on Sunday, and the first such attack since Washington announced a ceasefire proposal for Lebanon last week. Iran responded with a barrage of missiles targeting Israel, raising fears that the escalating conflict could jeopardize the ongoing peace talks between Washington and Tehran. Nevertheless, Donald Trump maintained that an agreement still remains achievable. And a few hours later, the Israeli military announced that it had struck Iranian military targets. Iran's Revolutionary Guards claimed that Israel used air-launched ballistic missiles in the operation. The renewed fighting sent oil prices sharply higher, with the benchmark Brent crude rising more than 3% in early Monday trading, climbing back above $96 a barrel. IRG said that they targeted the Ramat David Air Base near Nazareth. Israel's military said it detected incoming missiles and that its air defense system successfully intercepted them. Air raid sirens were also heard in Tel Aviv, according to a Reuters witness. The Israeli military later said it had detected a missile launch from Yemen and activated air defense system to counter the threat. The attack marked the first strike from Yemen against Israel since the 8th April truce. Meanwhile, Trump and Netanyahu spoke by phone for nearly 30 minutes on Sunday. And according to Axios, citing a US official, Donald Trump urged the Israeli leader to refrain from additional strikes, saying, and I quote, "We are close to doing something good in terms of a deal," unquote. And since negotiations began, Israel has continued military operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon, arguing that the conflict should remain separate from any ceasefire arrangement involving Iran. Tehran, however, has repeatedly stated that any peace agreement with the US would depend on a ceasefire also holding in Lebanon, where Israel launched operation against Iran-backed Hezbollah movement. And as tensions continue to rise across multiple fronts in the West Asia, international efforts to secure a broader ceasefire face renewed uncertainty. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by esteemed guests this afternoon. I'm being joined by Major General A.K. Sivach, who's a defense expert as well. Major General Sivach, good afternoon. Thank you for taking your time and joining me here at News 9. I want to begin by asking, how do you read what has just panned out between the retaliatory fire between Israel and Iran and the fact that Israel has been compelled to shut its airspace? What does it mean? Is it in a state of a lockdown? Is Israel planning to recalibrate their efforts to launch a fresh offensive? Or is it a moral victory of sorts for Iran? But US is making it very clear that they are the ones calling the shot and not otherwise.
No doubt. Samya, one thing is very clear that US does not want the war to start again. Donald Trump wants some sort of peace, some sort of face-saving, exit from this war. And because the reasons are very obvious, because as far as Donald Trump, his own popularity, and its approval rating is going down in US. Also, there are midterm election in November, and there is a chances of a deal being signed between US and Iran. But the problem is coming is that Iran has linked what is happening in Lebanon with the deal. It says that one red line is that there should be a sort of ceasefire all across on all borders. But as far as Israel is concerned, it is not on the same phase as the US in this matter is concerned. It says that Lebanon should be taken out of this ceasefire. And what Israel is saying that Hezbollah, which is a proxy of Iran, is attacking on the northern part of the Israel, and they are well equipped with missile, rockets, and drones, and they are a threat to Israel. And till the time they are not disarmed, there is no question of Israel stopping the attacks on Hezbollah in the southern port of Lebanon. Now, this is the problem which is coming, and if it does not happen, then the war may restart. And that's what happened. Iran has first attacked on Israel, basically in the northern part of Israel, Hafia and Ramat David Air Base. And in retaliation, the Israel has also attacked back and hit on the central and the western portion of Iran. And there are chances that again, in case Iran retaliate, there will be a further retaliation from Israel. But to me, it looks like that is more of a posturing. The pressure is being put by Donald Trump, though Israel does not want war to stop. Once is very clear that America as well as Iran both want the peace to come because both are having problem. Iran is also having an economic breakdown. In fact, the inflation is almost more than 180%. There is inflation, there is unemployment, there is a misgovernance. People are also protesting. So Iran also want a ceasefire. But the problem is coming is that Israel does not want a ceasefire. Israel keeps on attacking on Lebanon. If that happens, then the peace is very fragile. Then you find the war again starting. But to me, it looks like that there is a heavy pressure of Donald Trump. As on today, also Donald Trump the short. Israel knows it that without US, Israel will not able to face Iran. And this was not the war of US, it was a war of Iran. And it is basically, it is a war of Israel against Iran. So therefore, the point is, as on today, it is still looks as if Donald Trump is in control of the things and it will able to force upon Netanyahu not to escalate this conflict and try to make sure that the Israel does not attack on Lebanon and there is some sort of peace prevail. But if it does not happen, then unfortunately we will go back. And this time, in case the war breaks down, then you will find it the intensity will be higher, and also you find that more countries
To
will
be
get
high
involved.
is one thing, Major General Sewaj, but as far as we are looking at these strikes that are taking place, is the Iron Dome and the Arrow 3 will be able to handle a saturation attack? Or I want to ask you, what is that one weakness that Iran is trying to exploit over here? Is it all about the cost of interceptor versus the cost of drones, where Iran finds itself at an advantageous position?
No doubt about it. See, the first round which has taken place, first of all, US and Israel both underestimated the capability of Iran. The Iran has got drones, missile, rockets, and very rightly said that what happened, that multi-layered air defense system which Israel had, that the Iron Dome, Iron Beam, also David Sling and Arrow system, yet about 15 to 20% of missiles and drones would able to hit their target in Israel. The reason is simple. It is very difficult all drones to be intercepted, and there is something called what Iran has mastered this technique of sending almost about 1,000 drones and missile rockets in bulk, and it's very difficult for by any air defense system to basically neutralize each and every projectile. And very correctly, you brought out that the interceptor are very costly, whether it is David Sling or Arrow system. One, in case if the drones are there, it is very cheap, which is being sent by Iran. But what happened is to intercept that you are firing a missile which is almost 10 to 20,000 times costlier than. So there is no denying the fact that Israel is having a problem as far as the air defense system is concerned, and this is the weakness which has been exploited as far as Iran is concerned. Can Israel also attack back on Iran? You see, the Iran, the plus point is Iran is a large country, and as it is, they are not worried because their 40 to 50% infrastructure is already damaged. Whereas Israel is a small country, the density of population is there, the targets are already earmarked. So therefore, there is no denying the fact in round one there was advantage to Iran, and in case round two take place, Israel will have a problem because Iran still have 70% of missile, rocket, and drones intact, and their missile cities are producing almost 100 to 200 drones in every week.
No, but I also want to understand, Major General Siraj, that what happens to the Gulf nation over here? Now, since the Israel has shut its airspace and since Iran is attacking Bahrain and Kuwait, what happens to Jordan? What happens to UAE and Saudi? Are they going to allow their airspace for Iran to launch missiles, or will they allow their airspace for the Israeli jets? They are being forced to pick a side over here.
Absolutely. Samia, they don't deny the fact in round one they have seen it that whichever military bases of US were there in Middle East in this Gulf countries, they were also targeted by Iran. And in case if the war begins again, now these will be very easy target as far as Iran is concerned, whether it is Saudi, UAE, Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Bahrain. So therefore, there is no denying the fact there will be a lot of attacks on these countries. The air defense system which has been given by the US again is not very effective, whether it is THAAD or Patriot missile system. Even the energy sector of these countries will be targeting, including desalination plants. So therefore, the point is that in case the round two take place, the maximum hit will be taken by all these West Asian countries. These are the Gulf countries, and therefore it looks like that in case second round take place, they will be the most badly affected, and these are the countries which are rich in oil, and you will find it oil, fertilizer, food, the rates going skyrocketing. Now they are already oil touching almost $100 per barrel. You will find it that if the war takes place again, it will touch upon $150 per barrel in very short time. So all said and done, there is no denying the fact two things have happened which has made a difference. One is that the Iran is very cleverly fought this war in an asymmetric manner. One is it has targeted the Middle East bases which are there of the US as well as these countries. Second thing is it has closed Strait of Hormuz. That has made a tremendous impact. But what counter has been done by US, that is also putting a naval blockade in Strait of Oman, is also affecting Iran, because Iran 90% of oil is produced in Kharg and then it is exported. But what is happening after putting naval blockade? No ship is going, and their basically the capacity to hold the oil is already over, and their drilling machines are now not functioning. So therefore, Iran is also being adversely affected. Iran also want a peace. America also wanted a peace. It is only Israel which is creating problem, because Israel
Absolutely.
wants.
And we
Israel
have to see
wants,
whether in these circumstances is the sea